Hello folks, Miss Roll here with your special groups on the periodic table part 1 notes. So you do have a second part that's related to this that you will watch a little bit later. So our goal with this is to identify which special groups elements are in. This tells us a lot of information about those elements because it follows a lot of patterns, and it helps us to read the periodic table and find the things that we're looking for. So first of all, reading the periodic table, we got to talk about some of the language that we use to talk about the table. So first of all, we'll talk about the period on the periodic table. So a period is just a section going across. So like the two red boxes, both are in period 1. The orange are period 2. The yellow are period 3. You get the idea. So periods are horizontal rows. There are 7 periods on the periodic table. And elements in the same period have the same number of energy levels. So if you check back to like your Bohr model practice, you saw that both our red elements had, 1 energy level, our orange had 2, our yellow had 3, and it would keep going from there. And then we also talk about groups. So groups are vertical columns going up and down. And then elements that are in the same group have very similar physical and chemical properties. So again, knowing what group it's in tells you actually a lot of information about those elements. So again, we've got 7. So like all of the red elements are one group, All of the orange elements are group 2, yellow are group 3, green are group 4, etc. All right, let's look at some examples just of identifying period and group for these different elements, because I want us to make sure that we understand what's going on. So we're going to look for sodium, element Na. So I'll just pull this over here. So if we're looking for sodium, Na, I'll just show you here. It is right here. I've circled it. Okay, so now we see where it is on our periodic table. So looking at this, it is in the first column on the left, which is our group. So we know it is going to be in group 1. Whoops. Back to coloring. There we go. Group 1. And for periods, we see we have row 1, 2, and 3. This picture also happens to have it labeled on the side there. But we're in period 3. All right. So now we need to find selenium, Se. So we'll look here again on our table. Se is right here, so I'm going to go ahead and circle it. Now let's see if I can just pull this back out front. Nope. Okay, so Se, let's going to look. So we are in group 1, 2, and now notice, if we looked back to the last slide, we don't actually count the ones in the middle. So sometimes you'll see like on this one, it's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We just get rid of the 10, right? So like the squatty part, there's conveniently 10 rows. So it'd be group 1, group 2, group 3, not 13, right? We just get rid of the 10. 14, 15, or 15, 5, 6. So this would be group 16 or 6. For the most part, we're going to just use up to 8. So this will be group 6 for us. We got group 6, and then we need to look at the period. So we have row 1, period 1, 2, 3, and it looks like it's labeled here nicely 4. We're in period 4. So that's period 4, group 6. We found our selenium. All right, period 4, group 6. All righty, now our next one, is aluminum. We're going to look for aluminum. So going back over here, I'll erase our last one. Once I've found aluminum, it's right here. I'll circle it. We'll notice this one is in group 3, right? We get rid of the 10, so this is group 3, and it looks like it is in period 3. Group 3 and period 3. That's our aluminum. So the nice thing about talking about the groups and the periods is that it pinpoints a specific element, right? If I say group 3, period 3, it's always going to be aluminum. So it's a great way to talk about these different elements. It's kind of like Battleship, right? Where you got those coordinates and all that fun stuff. Okay, so that's how we go about reading those pieces of our periodic table. But now let's take a look at some of those special groups that we mentioned. So first one is group number 1, and that is the alkali metals. These are the most reactive of all the metals. We'll actually do a cool demonstration with this later this year. They're not found in elemental form in nature because they react with stuff. So we find these elements bonded to other elements. They're very soft, they're very bendable, they're shiny, and they have a low melting point. It's relatively easy to melt these things. And I believe that is it for our first section of the notes. Make sure that you come back for that second section to learn about all of our special groups. Remember to ask questions. It's a fabulous way to learn, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.